Good day, students. I am Dr. Nathaniel Omotoba. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Tourism Studies, National Open University of Nigeria. I'm your online course facilitator for TSM145, the Geography of Tourism. Geography to a layman can be seen as the study of man and its environment. And tourism can be seen as an activity, a recreational activity that involves living one's environment for a period not less than 24 hours, and the end point of tourism is maximum enjoyment. This course deals mainly with how geography and tourism are interrelated, and it is my hope that at the end of this course you will understand that tourism relies so much on geographical features for its existence. Thank you, and I wish you the best in this course. Good day, students. My name is Dr. Nathaniel Omotoba. Today we'll be treating a very important course, and this is the instructional video for that course and for that topic: map and chart work. Map is very important in the study of geography. In fact, without maps, there are many things that I will not be able to study in geography. And same way, it is important as well in tourism. Remember, in our previous topics, I told you that tourism relies solely or strongly on geography for its existence. Because tourism makes use of as many features, geographical features, as possible. Maps are very important in the study of geography and tourism, and we should know that it forms the basis for most geographical data. It can be defined as a graphical representation of a part or the entire earth surface in miniature. It's just like bringing the heads on a sheet of paper in front of you on a table. That is what map does. When the word as a whole is not easy to comprehend, but with the help of maps, we are able to comprehend it. We are able to see the word the way it is. Same way, we define charts as a graphical representation for data visualization, in which data is represented by symbols. These symbols can be bars, it can be lines, it can be slices, but what we are discussing here is representing that data graphically. Most of the time, you go outside for research purpose and you collect your data, and when you represent this data descriptionally, then you represent it using a chart. Charts is also very important to tourism industry, especially when it comes to research purposes. And we should know that cartography is the art, science, and technology of graphically representing a geographical area, usually on a flat surface, such as a map or a chart. Like I said the other time, the importance of maps cannot be undermined, cannot just wire it aside, because maps has helped us to understand the world we live in. It has helped us to understand the world around us. Most of the time, even where you've not been to, it can be a region you've not been to, it is easy to get whatever you are looking for on a map. And that is why we say that it brings this vast spatial world, as big as the world is, as big as the earth is, having 7 continents: Africa, Antarctica, Europe, Asia, Australia, North America, and South America. All these continents, they are very big, but at the end of the day, with the use of maps, you are able to comprehend them even on top of our tabletops. And remember, the informations are kept on maps. The informations are kept on maps, and that is why we have as many types as possible. Talk about the soil maps, where you keep information of soil of a region, soil characteristics of a region. Talk about rainfall maps, how many rain is being received in a region at a particular point of time. Talk about political maps, which contains boundaries of regions. Talk about vegetation maps, vegetations of different areas. So maps helps in storing information, and with this information it acts as a research tool. Many people don't even, when they don't know one or two things, they need to refer back to maps to be able to get whatever they want to use there. And I said the uses of maps depend solely on the types of maps. Depending on the types of maps that you have, for example, a military map will contain as many things as possible. It can contain the topography of the area, it can contain the climate of that area, it can contain the political the political boundaries of that area. But the use of that map as at that time is for military purpose. That is why I say the uses of maps depend on the type of maps. Now, coming back to the historical antecedent of maps, the history of antecedent can be traced back to 5000 BC during the Roman Empire. They make use of maps, and these maps are made on wooden boards, barks of trees, skin leather, fabric, metal, stone, and clay. These maps were worked or were marked with tools. It is with the tools they used then, holding tools, cutlasses and the likes, all those seemingly mundane tools. Those are the tools they use, and they use it to mark, to get things. An example is what you have on this screen. There is a map on a stone. And in Nigeria, the use of maps started between 1861 and 1910, and I believe then it was as a result of colonialism in the world then. Developing countries and underdeveloped countries then are colonized by the developed ones, and then they need maps to be able to understand the terrain they are going to. And for the purpose of our activity, I believe you already know what a map is. You have to define what a map is. What is a map? And that what means you are not just defining it, you have to explain everything you know about a map. Now, coming to the types of maps, we have what you call the general reference maps, and we have what you call the special or thematic map. What do you mean by general reference map? General reference maps are defined as maps that have everything, every characteristics, every form of maps in it. A very good example of a general reference map is an atlas. In an atlas, when you open an atlas, you have the political map, you have the soil map, you have the vegetation map, transportation map, all those things. And that is why we refer to them as what a general reference map. And the second one, the special or thematic map. That is a map that is used that has its own purpose, that is used for its own special purpose. For example, all these maps, when they are alone, they are referred to as a special or thematic map. You have the political maps, you have the physical maps, you have tourist maps, you have transportation maps, you have the topographical maps. Your political maps that show boundaries of regions. Your physical maps talk about relief system, the drainage system. All those things are embedded in what we call the physical maps. And for the tourist maps, especially for those of us that are in the area of recreation and tourism, in a tourist map you find tourist centers. They try to tell you the location of tourist centers, tourist sites, and potentials. An example, although it's not very clear, an example is what you have on this slide. The map you are looking at is an example of a tourist map. And you have transportation map. Transportation map shows routes, water routes, airline routes, rail routes, etc., etc. And lastly, you have the topographical map. Though you can cite your topographical map under physical maps, because physical maps contain as many as possible. Under physical maps, you can even talk about your climatic map, or talk about vegetation maps, etc., etc. But topographical maps, they are still special. They are types of special maps because they contain contour lines, and with these contour lines, if you are able to decode them, you know which areas have high lands, which areas have low lands. Now, another point that is very very important is map skill, because without skills you will not be able to even have map on paper. It is what you have on that paper that you when you look at the scale, you know that okay, from so, although on the paper it might not be more than 1 centimeter, but that 1 centimeter must represent something on the real hard surface. And that is why scale are very very important, and they can be expressed using 3 methods: words and figures, that is 1 centimeter to 4 kilometer, the linear scale, and the representative fraction. We have these 3 types of scale on the diagram. The one you are looking at, one to 600,000 is an example of representative fraction scale. Then the other one, 1 centimeter to 6 kilometer, is an example of words and figures. And the one you are looking at with white and black dots, that is the one with this one that I'm pointing to now, like a ruler, having 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 kilometer, is what you call the linear scale. And you realize that what you still have here, they mean the same thing, but these are the ways you can express your scale. Another one that is very very important is what you call map symbols. On your map you have symbols, and symbols are used on maps to represent features. Now look at the diagram we have here, like this one, airport domestic, this one, airport international, like this sign. By the time you see all these signs, because it is not possible to be writing all these things in your map, it will make the map jam-packed. But with the help of symbols, when you see okay, this is a cross sign, red cross sign, then it means that this place is is a hospital, depending on the type of symbol. So symbols guide people to know what, or to be able to decode what you have on your maps. Another important thing that is very very compulsory is what we call the geographical grid. And the geographical grid, we have what we call the lines of longitude and lines of latitude. And the latitude is measured by imaginary lines that run around the earth vertically. They meet at the north pole here. This is the north pole, and the south pole. That means all these lines moving from north pole to south pole, they are referred to as what? As lines of longitude. And these lines are known as what we call the meridian. In some textbooks they call it the Greenwich meridian. It's by this line that's okay. GMT +1 when you are talking about your time. GMT, this area where you have this, you have 0. Then the next line you have GMT +1. The next line you have GMT +2. The next line, they use it to work on time. And that is why if you are in South Africa, the time in South Africa now is different from the time in Nigeria, because they don't fall on the same line of longitude. And the lines of latitude, as you can see, the vertical ones, the horizontal ones, they are the lines of latitude. And it is at the center you have what you call the equator. You have what you call the equator. The lines of latitude are referred to as parallels. Now let's move on to chart. The other time we define charts. Now talk about types of charts. We have 4 types of charts. We have what we call the pie chart. We have what we call the bar chart. We have what we call the line graph, and we have what we call the Cartesian graph. Now let me use this so that you can see what you have here. This is what we call the pie chart. So you call the pie chart. in form of pie. By the time they cut it, that it is in form of pie. And this is what they call the bar chart. The bar chart. Another example of a bar chart is the histogram, because although they are close together, it is still, you still use bars to represent whatever you want to represent. And you have the line graph. The line graph. This is another form of line graph. This one is called the radial line graph. And lastly, you have the Cartesian graph. That's something that you have on your graph sheet. It's what we call the Cartesian graph. Now, to our second activity, examine the various types of charts. You are supposed to know this by now. Examine the various types of chart. So you should be able to tell us, okay, this is a pie chart, and tell us the characteristics. In what instance do you use a pie chart, especially for research purposes? And by this, we've come to the end of this instructional video. I remain my humble self, Dr. Nathaniel Ilere Omotoba, and I thank you for downloading and listening to this instructional video. And my hope is that by the time you are able to read this, you have more knowledge about maps and chart work of our course TSM145, the Geography of Tourism. Thank you and God bless.